Get ready for a deep dive into the stories making waves right now. We are starting with the Women's Resource Center and their annual empowerment panel, where a powerhouse group of academic leaders took the stage to shatter the myth of perfect balance. Jess Armstrong, Jada Talakdar, Chelsea Richard Napoleon, and Nicole Caridad dropped some serious truth about the realities of working in high-pressure fields, specifically challenging the idea that women must be everything to everyone at all times. It is an honest look at burnout and finding your true place in academia.
Never get caught with a dead phone again. This INIU portable charger is compact, travel-friendly, and gives you fast 45-watt charging with a built-in USB-C cable, so there's no need to carry extra cords. With 10,000 mAh power, it's perfect for busy days, trips, emergencies, or anytime your battery drops too low. Grab yours on Amazon through the link in the comments before your phone hits 1%.
Next up, your weekend plans just got a major upgrade with this week's must-watch list. We are tracking the massive hits landing on screens everywhere. From the new series Margot's Got Money Troubles featuring Elle Fanning and Nicole Kidman on Apple TV, to the highly anticipated second season of Beef on Netflix starring Oscar Isaac and Carey Mulligan. Plus, if you are heading to the theater, do not miss Anne Hathaway as a pop sensation in Mother Mary, or the intense scares in Lee Cronin's latest horror flick, The Mummy. In a developing legal story, the death of celebrated artist Yevgeny Kungurov has taken a dramatic turn. Following persistent efforts from his father, Viktor Evgenyevich, the investigative committee has officially opened a criminal case regarding the circumstances that led to the tragic passing of the beloved voice star. We are tracking how legal teams are pushing for a deeper investigation into this case, seeking clarity beyond the initial findings as the family continues to advocate for a full and unbiased look at his final days. Finally, we are celebrating the remarkable life of Betty Gene Gulbronson, an Ottawa icon whose story is one for the books. From her work at Carson Peary Scott to her decades of service at St. Columba Church and her legendary spirit as a mother to 8, her legacy continues to touch countless lives across generations. Make sure you are staying in the loop with all these updates by hitting that subscribe button and turning on the notification bell so you never miss a headline. Ever feel like the pressure to have it all is just a trap designed to keep you burning out? Recently, the Women's Resource Center at Loyola University, New Orleans, hosted their annual empowerment panel, and they didn't hold back on the realities of being a woman in the modern workforce. We're talking about 4 powerhouse women: USA Today best-selling author Jess Armstrong, sociologist Jada Talakdar, clerk of court Chelsea Richard Napoleon, and CEO Nicole Caridad. Together, they shredded the myth of work-life balance. Nicole Caridad hit the nail on the head when she warned that passion-driven work is a fast track to burnout. Her advice: you cannot pour from an empty cup, a simple truth that is often ignored in our grind culture society. Professor Talakdar took it a step further, pointing out that this relentless pursuit of balance is actually a structural problem. It is a rigged game that forces us to internalize the failure when we can't do the impossible. As Chelsea Richard Napoleon bluntly put it, balance is not a real thing. The panel also tackled the heavy psychological toll of imposter syndrome, especially in academia. Women are so often conditioned to make space for others that they forget to claim their own seat at the table. But these women were clear: your presence is non-negotiable. They argue that because you bring your unique life history to everything you do, your perspective is an asset that cannot be replaced. Their advice: if your current job doesn't align with your passions, put an expiration date on it. Don't just settle for a paycheck. Build a career that reflects who you actually want to be. It is refreshing to hear such raw, unfiltered honesty about what it takes to succeed without losing yourself in the process. If you found these insights as eye-opening as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content on navigating the modern world. Remember, your career is a choice, not a cage. How are you choosing to redefine your own balance today? Let me know in the comments below. Ever feel like your streaming dashboard is just a graveyard of indecision? We have all been there, scrolling endlessly while our popcorn goes stale. But don't worry, I have done the heavy lifting for you. Let's break down the must-watch titles hitting your screens this weekend. Kicking things off on Apple TV+, we have Margot's Got Money Troubles. Seeing Elle Fanning team up with the powerhouse that is Nicole Kidman, that is a masterclass in acting waiting to happen. If you're craving something a bit darker, Netflix is bringing the heat with Season 2 of Beef. With Oscar Isaac and Carey Mulligan taking the lead in this anthology, expect some seriously high-octane emotional tension. If you need a laugh to balance out the drama, head over to Prime Video for Balls Up. Mark Wahlberg and Paul Walter Hauser as marketers trying to finesse a World Cup sponsorship. That sounds like a chaotic, comedic goldmine. Now, if you're planning on heading out to the cinema, you have some heavy hitters to choose from. David Lowery is back with Mother Mary, starring Anne Hathaway as a pop icon in what sounds like a delightfully witchy spectacle. For the horror fans, Lee Cronin is reviving a classic with his reimagining of The Mummy. And for those who prefer gritty, raw storytelling, Tom Blyth is giving us a hard look at life behind bars in the British drama, Wasteman. There is a little something for everyone this time around. Which one are you adding to your queue first? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for your weekly dose of entertainment updates. At the end of the day, a good story is the best way to escape the grind, so pick your poison and enjoy the show. When a beloved star dies, the world often demands closure, but for the family of opera singer and The Voice contestant Yevgeny Kungurov, closure has been replaced by a quest for the truth. You might remember him as the powerhouse vocalist from Romance of Romance or his appearances on the big stage, but today, his name is making headlines for a much darker reason. After months of grieving and suspicion, the investigative committee has finally opened a criminal case into the driving to suicide of the 40-year-old artist. It is a massive shift in a case that many authorities initially dismissed as a voluntary end. But let's look at the friction here. The singer's father, Viktor Kungurov, isn't buying the official narrative for a second. He has been fighting tooth and nail, pushing for a murder investigation rather than a suicide case. It is a parent's worst nightmare, compounded by the feeling that the system failed them from day one. In fact, the family is now calling for a formal audit of the original investigators, alleging that crucial, hot pursuit evidence was either ignored or bungled right after Yevgeny's body was discovered under his Moscow apartment window last April. What makes this truly haunting is the detail we keep coming back to. Shortly before he died, his wife reportedly received a message indicating he was planning to end his life. Yet, those who knew him best, his father and his first wife, have gone on national television to adamantly deny that suicide was even in his character. They point to his life, his career, and his lack of a psychiatric history as evidence that something more sinister was at play. Whether this was a tragic mental health crisis or a calculated crime remains the million-dollar question. The legal battle is heating up, with the family now petitioning to move the case to the main directorate of the investigative committee, hoping to wash away what they perceive as local bias. This isn't just about a star anymore. It's about the relentless pursuit of justice when a family believes the truth is being swept under the rug. What do you think? Does the evidence point to a tragic loss, or is there more to this story than the police are currently admitting? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this developing story. Sometimes, the most public figures hide the most private mysteries. They say that behind every great life is a story worth telling, but some lives aren't just stories, they're legacies that define an entire era. Today, we're celebrating the remarkable journey of Betty Gene Gulbronson, a woman who lived through a century of change, heartbreak, and immense joy. Born in 1924, Betty's life was anything but ordinary. From painting airplane dials during the height of the war to the tragic loss of her first husband, Joe, just months into their marriage, Betty learned early on that life demands resilience. But she didn't just survive, she thrived. When she met her soulmate, Bud, it was the start of a 65-year love story that defines the word partnership. Betty wasn't just a wife and mother of 8, a feat she often joked about with a wink, wondering how they all stayed sane. She was a force of nature. Whether she was holding court at the Carson Peary Scott Cosmetics counter, volunteering as a pink lady at the local hospital, or keeping everyone on their toes with her razor-sharp, sarcastic wit, she brought a sense of style and grace that you just don't see anymore. She was a seamstress, a gardener, and by all accounts, a pretty dangerous card player. Her dedication to her faith at St. Columba Church spanned 7 decades, proving that her heart was as large as her sense of humor. She leaves behind a massive, beautiful family tree, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and even a great-great-grandson, all of whom carry a piece of her vibrant spirit. If you'd like to pay your respects, the visitation is set for April 21st from 9 to 11 a.m. at Ottawa Funeral Home, followed by a mass of Christian burial at 11:30 at St. Columba Church. Memorials can be made to the church or OSF Hospice. Take a moment today to reflect on your own loved ones, because as Betty's life reminds us, the time we have together is the most precious commodity of all. If this tribute touched you, please leave your condolences in the guest book at Ottawa Funeral Home. After all, the best way to honor a life well lived is to make sure the stories keep being told.